Hi, this is Dr. Stacy Lyle, and
Luis Martinez.
so we're going to go through really quickly and talk about installing Visual Studio Code. So one of the first things it looks like, Lewis, is that we need to install the Git exe once we've installed Visual Studio Code. So let's go ahead and do that. And what that allows us to do is make the connection to Visual Studio Code so that we can be able to use it with inside Visual Studio Code. So we're going to run the 64-bit. Now if you're running on your machine, it just depends on the version that you're running. We're running Windows 10, so we need the latest version of what it runs. And hit run. Okay, so when it gets through, it looks like it's got the GNU public license. So we're going to install it. It's going to put it into a Git directory. And I think defaults, you want to add it to your desktop. It's up to you, right? Use Git from a Windows command prompt. Use Git from a Git bash only. You might want to do both, but try it, click on it and see what happens. If you say just from a command prompt, then there's some issues there. Let's use the Git bash because that's typically what we'd probably use in that scenario. And then we can just next on the next few settings here. All right, just keep on going. All right, so it's installing the Git configuration. So what Git allows you to do is like you have a copy what's on GitHub copied over to your hard drive. So as you do anything on your hard drive, it will push what you do over to your GitHub account. The nice thing about that is you could do everything from your desktop here and you don't have to worry about pushing and pulling data back and forth, so it works really quickly. All right, I don't need to review the view notes, so we'll just hit that and finish. That's fine. We'll close that out and we'll go back to our Visual Studio Code. All right, so now we've got that really installed from that scenario. So now we'll just show you how to go in and set up a repository in your GitHub. So let's close that and pause. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to log into your GitHub account. You come into your A&M GitHub account. We're going to make a new repository. So the first thing we need to do is hit the green button that says New Repository. So in that scenario, you want to give it a repository name. Again, not a lot of spaces, not a lot of words there. We're just going to call this one Lyle _ GEOG 391-659. All right, I'm going to make sure that I make it private. You can add a description if you want to, and then you hit create that repository. Now that repository is now built, and here's the name of that repository. We want to copy that name that's right there, and then we're going to go back to our file directory. And where are we going to put it? Underneath documents, I have 391. I'm going to make a new directory in here, and I'm going to call it dev source. So you might have multiple directories or multiple courses. So let's just call it dev. We'll call it dev source. All right. And then now if we go in here and we right click, we can go in here and we can start either the GUI or the bash. Now if we start the bash here, what's that is just basically a command prompt. And if we go back to what it asks us to do in our instructions is to git clone to the name of that repository that we made. So we're going to go back to that place and put in git clone, and I'm just going to paste it. Oh, no, try again. Git clone space, and again paste it and work. So let me go back to my page and just make sure I copied that correctly. I hit copy there. Go back here. It should paste that, but for some reason it is not. I can always just type it, right, so that I have it. There's the name right there, https / github.tamu.edu/Lewis-Martinez / and unfortunately uppercase and lowercase do matter in this scenario, so maybe using all lowercase might be a better thing than using uppercase. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
Oh, got a mistake there. 659. Any other mistakes? Looks good. Let's see what happens. Okay, looks like it's cloning it to that location, and really there's nothing really there. It's going to ask for our login, so Luis is going to go in and type in his login. Now, if you ever change your login to your GitHub account, you're going to have to go in there and set the variables for that again. And I've had a few students do that in the past. I think that happened, right?
It happened to me personally.
Happened to you personally, so we know that happens. And contact us and you can see, but you can go online and see how to do that quite easily. So now if we go back to the directory, we should see in there that now it's created this little file that's in there, and we have basically it's blank, probably because when we are in here, we didn't have a README file, but we can go in here and add a README file. There's a README file right there that's inside that directory, and we can type in some nice little markdown write-up for GitHub, and we'll have more information about how to do that. And we can say topic header. We can say # new. Okay, and then we have different things that we can use for the markdown, but when you get through to save it, you actually go down here and do a commit, and you want to say what you did. So we made a README. All right, so that worked really well, and we commit that to that new file, and now we have this little file README that's inside there from that standpoint. And that is on the GitHub, but if we go over here, we don't really see that in that scenario. I can make it try to go get that. Again, I can run a bash right there, and I can do a pull or a push from that standpoint. There is the GUI interface where you can come in here from that standpoint, and you can come into there and tell it to pull or push, commit to the changes that you have, and try to get that information. All right, so maybe if I had a push, I can push, or if I have a pull, I can try to pull. All right, so but I want to go in and show Visual Studio, and I want to connect to it from that standpoint. So I'm going to stop that right there, and I'm going to go here. Okay, so we're going to show you how to clone your GitHub over to a local drive on your PC. So we have 391 dev source here. So we're going to right click and we're going to run the bash here. All right, so here we can see the bash, and we put in the git clone, and last time we tried to do the record over the name. We can try that again, which was our name of our GitHub that we had from this standpoint, right? So this is our GitHub right here, and so we could try to copy that. And if we copy that and then go back to here and see if it allowed us to paste it, it didn't do it. It didn't do it last time, did it?
Maybe if you try to right click and paste, will that work?
No, let's see what happens. Very good. So it looks like it cloned it over, right? So now we could just go back to our directory structure. Oh, there it is. So it's then added it to our documents 391 dev source. There it is. When we go inside there, there's a README file that we had created. Now, if I go start Visual Studio back up, I can go locally and open that README file. So I'm going to go to the 391 dev source and the README and open that up. And if you want to see what it looks like, you can see a view here. So you see a real one, and we have the pound sign there. If I make a space, you see it makes it the right kind of markup or markdown language that you need. And now that I've done that, I've made a change, and see over here, it looks like you've made a change. So you want to click on that, save the change that you made. You'll now see it come over here to the source that it needs to push it over to the master. All right, so we go back over here to the master to have it make those changes from that standpoint. We can see the change, and we want to commit to that change. And then now there's, well, there's already nothing to commit. We can then say push that, and it will push it back over to the website. And so that if we go back to the website, we should be able to see where if we then update this website, let's go back here and then look at the README. It should have updated it. Let me go back here and just see if we can do a commit. There's nothing to commit. More time, test, return. And then we'll put some more stuff in there. New header. Right here, right click, save. Go back here. That's the README file, correct?
Yes.
Try to name, we'll just say update. Enter. Now go over here and hit push. And it looks like it's trying to push it out to there. And it seems like it worked. So we'll go back here to here, and we'll try to do and redo that. And look, it got it. So let's do this, and let's start.